Good morning, family and friends, and as always, my beloved veterans, it's Emilio Roman, and I'm here with my co-host from Canada.
Amara Lodi. Hello,
I
good
love
morning.
it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Umada. And you can see it's a little different today here. It's a little cloudy and rainy, but I want to assure all of us that, and remind us that the sun is always, right? Always behind the clouds, always. And right now, you may be going through a challenging time. There may be a cloud over your personal life. There may be a cloud over your professional life, a challenge that we all go through. But just like it was yesterday, nice and sunny, and today it's not, I assure you, this too shall pass, and you will see the bright light at the end of the road. So I just want to start off with that, Amada.
Thank you for saying that. Our Toronto is all covered with snow, by the way.
Are you really?
Yes, it's all snow. It's like the white heat is on now. We're blessed that we have these workers who work overnight, clear the
Yes.
roads. By the time you wake up in the morning, it's all clear. There's a sheet of white snow, and what I believe is, and I was one of those people who used to complain about the weather,
Right.
and I realized, it's a blessing. Everything, including
Mm.
the weather, is a blessing of God. And when you're complaining about the weather, you're complaining about God,
Oh,
which
you
is
speak.
something to be mindful of. So, and also the low weathers or the dark weathers also make you even more grateful for the shiny and bright weathers. So if you don't experience the lows, you can never experience the wonderful highs in your life.
Wow, what a great introduction. What a way to start the show. And wow, and it's true about the complaining. The mind, right? If we don't understand how the mind works and how the mind um, kills your dreams and kills your desires. And there's books, by the way, and I'm sure you know, written about it. There's one lady, I don't, while her name escapes me, her lesson does not. She says that you have about 5 seconds or 10 seconds when you do something, right? When you want to do something, and if you hesitate, right, your mind's going to take over because your mind is designed for survival, right? Let's just be honest. Our minds are not designed for success, right? It's all survival, and that's why, why is it that we don't follow our dreams? Why is it that we don't pursue things that we know are good for us, right? Because the body wants to keep us safe. So that's a good conversation for another time. But I love talking about mindsets, right? Mindsets, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's all mental. At the end of the day, the weather has nothing to do with you and I. We're either mentally going to say, wow, it's a beautiful day. And there's people who, as you know, they'll just see the hole in the donut as opposed to seeing the donut around the hole.
Right. Right. Yesterday it was snowing and I kept on going outside, and usually, I just tuck myself inside with lots of blankets and tea. But
Yes.
yesterday I actually felt like going outside and experiencing the wind that was blowing. It was quite a blizzard that was happening.
Is that right? Okay.
But I wanted to feel the snow on my skin and the wind, the air going through my nostrils, actually feel
Yes.
every single thing and be present to it. And being present is the trick there, instead
Yes.
of
No.
wishing for something
Amen.
else. Hmm.
Amen. Amen. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you're on this morning, and as you can tell here, so you got a little bit of snow. Here's rain. In fact, I didn't even bring an umbrella. And again, my mindset is I've learned if it's not raining, we're not training. Meaning in the Marine Corps, we say, "Yay, it doesn't matter what the weather outside is. It's not going to change who I am and what I have to do." So we're out here, we're proving that, and I believe we have. Well, I don't believe I know. I already know she's in the green room. She's in the green room, and let me bring this up. So let me briefly tell you a little bit about Rosemary Giz. Have you met her? Do you know her?
Yes, I know, she's a very dear friend of mine, a wonderful personality. I love her.
Wow, it's so interesting because when you and I have just recently connected with the show, and she's part of our spiritual fitness community family. She's written she's part of the international bestseller Spiritual Fitness Survivor, and so I got talking to her about the show, and I said, hey, we need you on. You're part of the family. I said, by the way, we have Umara. She was like, oh yeah, I know her. I love her. I was like, boy, like it's a coincidence. Like everyone here, begins to connect. The missions are aligned. So without further ado, did you want to introduce a little bit about your friend, my co-author?
Absolutely. She has, so Rosemary Gibbs, first of all, is a very dear friend of mine. And she has been in the real estate world through her father. So she's got a history in that. She learned a lot. And then she's writer of two best-selling books, including one which has been she has been awarded as a Guinness World Record holder. And she says she's as humble as it goes, because literally when we first met, I didn't know her achievements, and she's so down to earth and humble that later on, to other people and through social media, I get to know her achievements, and I was really, really impressed. So we're just gonna take a quick breath, and then we're gonna invite her into
Amen.
the room and go with that.
Thank you. I'll let you take us in.
Thank you very much. So just close your eyes and spread your arms out. Take a deep breath with a count of 5. Hold on the count of 5 and slowly release. Be present, be grateful, be here. Thank you. Open up your eyes.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for taking us into that guided breath. I'm just calling it a guided breath, but this is amazing. Thank you so much. And
You're
let's go ahead and bring on your amiga, my amiga, and she's amazing. She is here. Let's see. Let's see. Rosemary, are you there? She may have a bit of a challenge,
welcome.
but well, she's on the screen. She was on the screen. All right. So I'm sure she'll get back on. Let's bring her back on here. Let's bring her back on. It says, hopefully I'm doing this correctly. It says, Rosemary, is your camera on? If you can hear us, your camera may not be on, my friend. And let's
Yeah,
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and keep talking about Rosemary. And
sure. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Mandy. Thank you so much for joining. Yes.
yes, okay. Any comments that you have on your screen? Because I have one. Hey, I have one from Good morning, Omar Laudi. That's from Daniela. Do you have
Yes,
anything?
Daniela said, in everyone's life, a little rain must fall for us to appreciate the sun.
Amen. Thank you.
Well
You see, there's
said.
a lot of rain coming down
Well
here.
said. And Lisa says hi. And she says, you look beautiful. I think she's talking to you.
Yeah,
And Mandy says,
I look
good
beautiful.
morning.
She's talking to you, guy. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Yeah. So Lisa Joe Marie, not Lisa Joe Marie, Lisa Joe Bar. She's awesome. We just connected with her a couple weeks ago. She's from Colorado, and we're so blessed. She's going to be on the panel with us after Thanksgiving. So she'll be on our roster.
We
So
connected
as
for a
we're doing
while.
this, hey, can someone, Daniela, if you don't mind reaching out to Rose Giz and ask her if she's okay. So somebody do a check in with her. I'm and at the stream. So she's
Oh,
added
there.
to the. So
Yeah.
I've added. I'm sure she'll come on.
Good
She's
morning.
part of.
Can anyone hear me?
Good morning. Yes,
Hey,
we hear you, but we can't see you. So if you
I know. I'm trying to figure out that part of it.
we thought you were playing in the snow because I understand it's snow in Toronto, so I thought you were doing some snow angels. And I think we lost her again, but no worries, no worries. We're gonna continue to love on you.
Sorry about that.
There you go. You're back on. You're back on, my friend. How about just until you figure it out, just say hello to everyone because we can all hear you.
Good morning, everyone. And Thank you for this beautiful opportunity to speak with you this morning, both yourself, Emilio, and Umara. It's an honor
Thank
to
you.
be here. I just wish I could figure this out because I tested it earlier and it worked. And I don't know what I need to do now. So if there's somebody there that knows how to bring up a video, that would be great.
So,
Other,
Rosemary, are you logged in on your laptop or your phone?
I'm on my laptop.
So, do you see a camera and mute button on the bottom of your screen?
It says that the camera is off.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and it's okay. We're gonna get it right.
Yeah, well,
Let's see.
I also made a lot of mistakes when I was learning all this as well. So as human beings, you don't learn without making mistakes, which is the
Hey,
best type of learning actually, because then you don't forget.
listen, I prescribe to that philosophy, and Danielle and I and everyone at the academy knows that we say done is better than perfect, and
Right.
we just get into it. Uh, so yeah, no, we're good. So Rosemary, she's going to be good to go here once she figures this out. Let's tap on there again. Uh,
Explain a little bit about Emilio about yesterday because that was amazing. I
yes.
saw on your wall and all the workouts, and it just brought joy to my heart seeing all those people working out and
Thank you. Thank you.
putting all that
Yes.
effort. So how did that go?
Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was Danielle and I definitely had our cups filled. You know, we were touched that people drove over an hour plus away, especially on a Sunday. A lot of people, A, like to sleep in, or it's a day of worship, number two, or a combination of spending time with family and what they enjoy to do. That's a lot of people, that's their rest day. So the fact that they came all the way out to celebrate with us, to honor what we do with our mission, and that is to begin to heal from life's trauma. And not that they had any specific things, but it was just supporting us. And what wind up happening is we all wind up sharing and talking things that we didn't even kind of think we were going to talk about. We started talking, and it was a beautiful connection. And again, we call it the Atlantic City Spiritual Fitness Experience because that's what it was. It's an experience. It wasn't like anybody came out here to gamble. This is a gambling town. This is a tourist town, and it was just that. Uh, we had two kids that came in. They were playing. They were the same age. That wasn't even coordinated.
Wow. And I saw Daniela and her cooking. Yummy. I
Yes.
wish I could be there. I still wish I could be there. There you go. Welcome.
Yay! What a great segue.
Sorry I missed that, what you were talking about. I actually turned out I had a camera on in the background.
No worries. We thought you were playing in Toronto and doing some snow angels. Is it snowing where you're at?
Not anymore, but it did, as Umara said, it snowed all day yesterday. And I love the snow, especially the first one. After it's been around for 3 months, I don't care for it anymore. But the first snow to me is glorious. And I just
Amen.
want to be out in it, covered in snow. It's beautiful.
Amen. Amen. So, how wonderful it is that we have this opportunity, this blessed platform. I'm so grateful. So, I like to begin the show. We go back and forth with this, but what are you grateful for this morning? And we start with our guest.
I am truly grateful, actually. Just, you know what? To be able to experience a new day, wake up and know that you're blessed. You have everything you need. It's there. It's with even Amara and several others have said to me, you just got to remember that you have everything within you.
Mm,
We too often will listen to all the outside stuff and let all the outside influences affect us. And sometimes it keeps us down. But I think what's important is to, as you guys were started out this morning, you ground yourself. Really think about your blessings, what you have, and what you can give. and not necessarily about what's going on outside. Like I said yesterday, I get up and the first thing I did was I ran out into the snow.
Wow. So you were doing snow angels. All right. You
Yes,
know, you,
I
you,
was. I was. I
you,
admit it.
if we stop the show right here, my cup is full right now, just with your introduction. So if I stop here, I'm good. But obviously, we're not. Thank you so much for those beautiful words, those insights. Yeah, somebody will be and has been served by your presence this morning, regardless of the techie part. You see that, Umar?
You know, it's
Absolutely.
crazy with that. It's like, and I think that kind of goes to this whole year. We were talking about this actually, you and I, Emilio, the other day about what this year has done for us, what it
Mm,
looked like, what our expectations were of this year, and I think technology, for me anyway, has been that pinnacle, that thing that we really had to master. We had to master being online, being able to communicate, do our business, do our work, be creative, but do it online as opposed to face, which of course we're all used to. And we don't have that opportunity this year. Um, it's been a very strange year, in many ways. And like yesterday, I posted a couple of things, but one of them I posted was reminiscent of how I actually came into this year. And I was honored and blessed to come into this year with 2 co-authorships. And both of those books were powerful. They were encouraging. They were helping people understand that, we're all going through stuff.
mm,
And we need that encouragement. We need people that have gone through so much, say, adversities in their life and how they've overcome them, how to be empowered, how to be thankful, all of these things. And both of these books come out for me right at the beginning of the year. In fact, with Emilio and the Spiritual Fitness Survivor, I'm so blessed to be part of that book, and I thank you for that.
thank you.
But both of those books were about empowerment and helping people get through a lot of what they're going through. And like everybody, I started the year with plans, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and what my goals were for the year. But as we all know, life threw us a curveball and made us readjust, rethink, and kind of figure things out a little bit better about what it is we actually wanted to do and how. And who Rosemary is, I'm a financial consultant and a personal wealth coach. I've been working with people for well over 25 years, which effectively means I started when I was about 3.
The money maven, the money maven.
The money maven.
Money.
I've been working with people, helping them with their finances, helping them get control of their understanding about how money works, helping them get that financing that they needed to achieve that big dream in most people's lives, which is, purchasing their first home, or how to get there. What is the process? What are the steps of getting there? So when all of this started this year, the one thing that came up for me were things like fear, worry, stress, and a lot of that evolved mostly around finances,
Right.
because people were losing their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have business coming in anymore, or at that time. what were people going to do? And especially
Yeah.
with a lot of people losing their work or their
Yeah.
jobs, all of a sudden financial concerns
Yeah.
would pretty much consume you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And Rosemary, it's only because I'm loving what you're saying, but let's get some interaction because people are commenting, and I want to make sure that they're connecting with you throughout this process. So thank you for that. We need more. Tell us, is a comment coming in?
Yes, Lisa says, good timing. I just wrote a new budget. Money and income are blessing from God. We deserve prosperity on all levels. Thanks, Rosemary. Gratitude brings more gifts. And Mandy says, my own mantra. I love who I am. I love what I give. I love my life and I am grateful.
Wow.
And Daniela says, I believe this year was a blessing in disguise. Everyone is looking at it as the worst year ever. And all I hear is 2020 was supposed to be the best year ever. Well, it's all how you look at it. I think for me, it was a time to
Reevaluate.
reevaluate, yes, reevaluate, take a step back, realize what and who is really important in my life, and be
Mm.
grateful for everything and everyone in my life. I have gotten clear on my mission and what I have to offer to the world. So for me, it wasn't a shutdown, it was an opening. So well said, Daniela.
Wow.
So well said. Like
Wow.
literally, I don't think I've ever connected globally with everyone so much so that I've done on this year. Like so well said. Yeah.
Actually, those were perfect. Thank you very much for those. And absolutely right.
Mhm.
It wasn't the worst year ever. It really wasn't. And I was starting to get into that because what happened was, like I said, people get into that mode of fear, worry, stress. What am I going to do? And that's kind of like the first thing that happened for a lot of people. And if I could, I'm just going to pull up something here that I pulled off the somebody else's page actually, and I thought
Yeah.
this was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If I just follow with it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's who do I want to be during COVID-19? I
Mm.
thought that was cute,
Wow.
and they show it in three kind of zones. The first zone is, like I said, fear, worry, stress. What am I going to do? The second one is reevaluating, like Umara said, and I say it as well myself. I believe that this year was a wake up call for all of us. We were going far too fast, too hard. We were running on autopilot, and we weren't living in the moment. We weren't living for today. And
Right.
life was just slipping right by so fast, and we weren't enjoying it. We weren't living it. And the second zone on this chart is learning. So we've had to learn how to adjust to the environment instead of stressing about it. What are the opportunities here? What are the things we need to learn here? And understand and maybe even reach out to other people because everybody was in the same boat. Apparently we are still in the same boat. But reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your friends, your family, make sure that they're okay because the stress alone caused a lot of people to get sick.
Could you
And
speak on that, please? Could you, instead of, because we like to make this interactive, and you're doing a great job, but we like to talk about and bring insights in. So tell us about that part, because I think that's important. The stress alone. So regardless of the COVID-19 where we're at, the stress alone. Could you elaborate on that, please?
what I talked to people about during this period was, the biggest thing was about their finances.
Mm-hmm.
And with many of my clients, what I did was I asked them to pull up all of their finances, pull up everything. This is the time to kind of look at the big picture and figure
Right.
out where you're at.
Right.
And I said, all of whatever income you've got coming in, know exactly where it is and what it is. And then again, sit down and write down all of your debts, all of your liabilities, your credit cards, your loans, everything. Really get a good picture of where things are at. And because a lot of people lost their jobs, I said, this is the opportunity to sit down and reevaluate your life, reevaluate your finances, and kind of, I call it the reset button. Reset, stop what you're doing. There's nothing you can do about what's going on outside. You can only take care of what's inside.
Amen.
So with their finances, what I told them to do was, like if they had a mortgage, for instance, or whether they paid rent, pull up those documents and read through them, understand what they all say. What are the terms and conditions? Nobody ever reads those things, but I'm telling them to do it now. This is the time to look at it.
Right.
And if you're in a situation where you've lost your job or you have no income coming in, that's when you've got to sit down and do some serious communication with your lender, with your landlord, and get them to help you through this process.
And Rosemary, thank you for sharing. What has been, unless I missed it, what has been the biggest challenge that people have come to you with? Is there the one comment for that people this year have come to you with, and you find yourself kind of almost wanted to do one post and just say, here, man, like this is like to help you and help them get clear on it?
A lot of them, like I said, a lot of it had to do with finances.
Finance,
and
okay.
How do I get out of this situation? Like, what do I do? And the biggest piece of advice I gave most of my clients was, don't default on anything. Do not default. Even if you haven't got a job, you have no money coming in.
Gotcha.
Work with your lender, work with your landlord, and work out a strategy. Work out a plan to go forward, whether it's reducing your payment or deferring it for a few months, whatever the case may be. Too often people go into a panic mode and they can't make payments, so they just stop. And that's the worst thing you can do.
Okay.
Also during this time is to kind of reassess, as I mentioned before, and look at your life. Reach out to people. Who needs your help? Who is out there that might be struggling and needs help? I started reaching out to a lot of people, especially people that I knew were alone, seniors,
right,
the vulnerable, and this was important, but it also gave me strength too. Because now I could say, you know what? I have some abilities to be able to help people. I can work with people and help people with what they're going through. Maybe it's taking them grocery shopping or doing their grocery shopping for them, finding out what their needs and wants are. So not just looking after yourself, but also other people around you to see what you can do. And people, what I found too was, and I suggested it in one of my blogs, was, what is it you want to do? What is it you want to do? Now is the perfect opportunity. You're at home. You can't go anywhere. So is there something you want to learn? Take on a new hobby. Pick up a craft. Pick up a new skill. Read some books that you haven't read in, forever, and they've been piling up and you've been meaning to read them. And I think even I noticed that a lot of universities and colleges started to offer courses online so that people could pick up a new skill. I was speaking to one lady during all of this, and she said that she's taking a university course, and it was for free. It was opened up for free, and she was taking courses on marketing or sales or whatever it was to help her so that when all of this ends, she now has work. She has a new career, perhaps.
Right.
So it's taking what you've got and what's going on and just reevaluating and making the changes that you may need to make.
Sure. And you know what? Thank you for sharing that. Umara, I see you nodding your head a lot. Is there a question that you have? I know people have different things, but we like to keep this back and forth. Tell me what it is that I see you nodding, because Rosemary's got so much great wisdom. What is it that you have a question for her specifically?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying and sharing what you're sharing, Rosemary, because she speaks from heart. There are a lot of
Yeah,
comments also resonating
right.
with what she's saying. So I want to
Hmm.
share a few comments here.
Yep.
Lisa said that, yes, Rosemary, reach out to the community, help the neighbors, helping us, and it's a win-win. And Daniela said that it was a wake-up call. God knows what He is doing. He put up a huge red stop sign for all of us. We were all going too fast and not appreciating the moment. So thank you for sharing, Rosemary.
Yeah.
And there was another very beautiful comment that I wanted to speak out. Yeah. So it was Mandy, and Mandy says Mother Nature will stop humans in their tracks every time there's need to learn and grow and change. And I want to honor Austin J. Haynes. He's also on the call. He said previously, whenever there's adversity that comes, there's two types of people. Some people pivot, and the other ones just get into fear. So which one are you? So I absolutely 100% agree with everything that you're saying, because I relate every word that you're saying with my own life as well. I remember when I came to Canada the first time when I was here, and I had to get on a bus. I had never been on a bus before. Can you believe that? And so I remember that day I was on the phone with my brother and I was bawling. I was crying. I was actually crying out of fear that I have to go and travel on a bus with the fear of I'll
Mm,
get lost. But he says, well, you're going to do it either today or you're never going to experience that. So my
wow.
brother is like, he doesn't speak much, but he says like a few words and then he's done and like listening. And I went on the bus and I discovered the routes and I learned a new skill of, using the maps, which I never knew how to do. And similar was the same thing with when I first used the subway. So it's like things are going to happen in your life. Either they're good things or bad things, or good experiences or bad experiences. This is how you're taking them. You can either take them as a learning experience and reach out to other people for asking for help, things that you don't know, or you can just roll around in that fear and just keep on going down in that rabbit hole. So,
Yeah.
100% agree with every word that you said, Rosemary. Very well put together.
Yeah.
I think that was the big important lesson. Um, and what I called it was the reset button. That somebody came along and said, okay, reset button. You guys got to stop what you're doing. And it kind of reminded me of, not reminded me, sorry. It gave you the memories of what life was like 50, 60 years ago when you went to work, you came home, you're with your family. You spent the time, the evenings with your family. You cooked your meals and had your meals with the family. The kids weren't at the mall, they weren't shopping, they weren't running around. They were at the kitchen table doing their homework, and family time was important. And I think that's kind of what this did. In fact, I remember thinking jokingly that I was at the grocery store once in the beginning of all of this, and things like wheat and flour and sugar and spices and all of these things were off the shelf. There were none. They ran out.
Mm,
What was happening was the people got back to the basics, making their own meals again. Because I don't know about you, but when you're running and going and going and going the way we were, we stopped doing that. We stopped sitting down and enjoying those little things of like making a meal, a big
mm,
meal for a family, or baking bread, making cookies and cakes. And I saw a lot of posts during that time with people that, yeah, they had their family get together. The kids were in the kitchen making cookies,
beautiful. Yeah.
yes, you worked from home, but it was also you were there with the family. The kids couldn't go anywhere. There wasn't any schools. So homeschooling kind of got maybe a little bit more there too, where people were doing homeschooling. So I think what it did was it kind of brought us back to what's important, and it's our families and the people around us. And also, as I mentioned earlier, reaching out to the people that perhaps are alone, have nobody around them, and maybe need some help. And yeah, basically bringing us back to the basics.
Rosemary, thank you for sharing that. Now, some people they're coming through, and I want people to get hold of you. So I put the scroll. Let us know, is this correct? You can contact you at facebook.com/rosemary.giz. Is that a good way to contact? If you have an additional way, please share it. We have about 2 more minutes left. We want to continue to honor you.
Um, I could say, go to my website and stuff like that, which is rosemarygiz.com.
Oh, wonderful.
But to be more personal, please, you could email me or text me, and I would, excuse me, I lost my voice there for a second. I would be wonderful to reach out to people, and if they have any questions about anything that they're concerned about or worried about, or maybe it's around their finances, because that's my expertise, I'll be more than happy to help them.
Yeah, no.
Facebook is perfect. Message me on there. You can also phone me or text me, and we can have a conversation.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for that. And as we're kind of bring this to a close, I see Rosemary and I, we were just supposed to get on the phone the other day for 2 minutes, and we went back and forth. And I just love her wisdom. I was taking notes. In fact, I want to thank you publicly, but I need you to help me with the title of the book. It was 365 Days. It's the book that you gifted Danielle and me. What was the full title of that?
365 Empowering Stories.
Empowering Stories. Thank you for that. That is a book that Rosemary is involved in. She became a bestseller for that book. And the stories were so impactful. I took the book, you gave it to me. It was pretty kind of like thick. And I was like, oh, I'm never going to read this. I mean, just me. And I took that book and put it down. So kudos. Who's the publisher of that book? Because we want to give them a shout out, because I loved it. The stories are very, very concise. It gave contact to the people, and I ended up reaching out to some of those individuals. Who's the publisher?
Randy Goodman, spelled Randi Goodman, Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
He's the powerhouse behind the book, and the person that brought all the amazing people that contributed to the book.
Mm-hmm.
And again, yes, it's all about struggles. It's all about encouragement, about empowering, and just finding the ways to get through adversities, get through some of the stuff that, unfortunately, I think, and I'm guilty too, you think you're all by yourself in this,
Mm-hmm.
that whatever you're going through, you get lost in your own head.
Right.
And I think for me, by reading a lot of those stories, I realized that we all have something to bring, and it's all very similar. Everybody has the same kind of issues.
Yes.
It's how they handle it and how they get over it. And the same with Umara. Umara has an incredibly amazing story.
Mm.
And I think by other people hearing your story, that it helps them in their own growth, getting over whatever it is they're going through, and it helps them move forward.
Amazing, and thank you for that. And I know we love my story. And just to circle back with you, Randy Goodman, Daniela publisher of the 360 Empowering Stories, co-author with ours truly. And so please reach out to them if you can. Let them know they're invited on our show. Honestly, we are booked now. We're 2 weeks out now. We are now, because of Umara's diligence and because of people that have been working with us. We're streaming, by the way. Today is the first day. So congratulations, Rosemary. Today, we're the first time ever we're streaming on 3 broadcasts. We're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on this platform, Facebook, and we're streaming on our Spiritual Fitness Academy. So you're the first one. So we want to honor you and thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Emilio, and same Umara. It was an honor to be here. It was an honor to share some of my thoughts and my beliefs and values. But more importantly, I think it was important to talk about this past year and how it wasn't a bad year. It was a terrible year for some things, but you know what? It opened doors. It helped people to maybe become more grounded and be able to move forward and say, okay, you know what? There's things out there we can't control. The only person we can control is ourselves. So how are we going to manage that? What are we going to do? Like I said, people were learning how to cook again, and how to spend family time together, and do things in a more holistic, grounded way.
Amen.
As opposed to running like we were. And I think from some degrees that was a good thing. For entrepreneurs, it helped us to learn new ways to reach out to our public, to our clients, to our customers, new ways of doing business, and being online, virtual meetings, virtual everything now. And there's no reason why you can't grow a business and be completely successful in your business by moving it online.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. And this is awesome. We're going to bring you back on because you're just filled with so much wisdom and experience. And so, I mean, I just love listening to you. I just know we're going to have to bring you back. And Umara, I know you girls are like besties. So what do you want to leave your friend with?
Well, first, I want to honor Rosemary by telling her I just read in the comments you inspired Austin J. Hames and Daniela herself to go back to and write another book on getting back to basics.
How about that?
This is what
hello to Daniela and hello to Austin. Both of you. I miss you two very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe there's going to be another book coming up, going back to basics very soon.
I think it was truly a blessing. Considering stuff out there we couldn't control anyway. So learning how to do things for ourselves and grow inside personally was important.
Awesome. Rosemary, we love you. I'm so excited. Let's say, I want to keep saying about this. Let's leave. I want to leave the audience with something else because you got you full of so much wisdom. What would you leave the audience with today? And then we'll close that out with you.
Basically, just to what I did was I just erased what was going on outside because I couldn't do anything about it. And more self-care. And that's come up a lot over the last little while with many of the people that I'm surrounded by, which is figure out what you need. What are your needs personally, whether it's your health, your nutrition, are you getting the exercise you need to do? You really need to, that's part of it, back to basic, is for yourself.
Wonderful.
Self-care.
Self-care, that's it. I know Danielle's going to put that in the comments. Friends and family, please connect with Rosemary. She is an inspirational person. She's just a delight to be around with. She came down all the way from Canada to participate in our event. She's a co-author, she's a friend. And if you need to get a hold of her for whatever reason you can, because she's so popular, reach out to us and we'll make that connection for you. God bless you, Rosemary.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much. It was a blessing. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you so much. All right. So this is so cool. What have you out? I guess I'm supposed to learn how to do this, but I don't know how to do it. Is there a spot there? Let's see. And I guess I can do it. Right? I guess I can do that on my end. Is there a button, Rosemary, that you can hit?
Yeah, probably on the bottom of your screen also, you'll see um, the studio.
In the studio? Okay, because I see something. Oh, here you go. Okay, Rosemary, before we say bye, love you. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, got it. So there you go. To me, because I'm always waiting for the person, the guest, to exit out. But wonderful, thank you. I see where it says remove the guest. Thank you.
Hmm.
What do you think about that interview?
That was so powerful, Emilio. That really was, and I'm gonna get my hands on both the books. Uh,
Hmm.
I reached out to Rosemary. Rosemary says that she's got my copy waiting for the Spiritual Fitness Academy as well.
Oh wow! See, we don't
Yeah,
have copies of that. I mean,
so I'm
yeah,
gonna
because
get
the printer.
I'm gonna get my book from her.
Wow. Okay,
Just
look
one
at that.
minute.
That's right. So, I'm gonna have to buy back some books of my own book from her. So no, this is wonderful. You notice I was on the beach. I'm wet, but it's coming down. But I just love the rain. It's a time of renewal, refresh, and look. So you can see the boardwalk,
Yes.
and
I
just
love the comments that were going on, and I loved how they brought up the fact going back to basics because I feel, since 1950, when the industrial age started, before that, it was farming. So human beings were, they were doing the work, doing the hustle, planting the crop,
yeah,
taking care of it, and then they will create a meal, and the families will sit down together and they will eat together, and it's a natural of human lifestyle for growth, right? And
yeah,
for connection. But then in 1950s, the industrial age came and everything went on shelf and everything was very, very accessible and and then later on, Uber Eats came and all these home deliveries and all we had to do was just call and the meal is ready and
yeah,
everyone is just running around and the kids are running around and the parents are running around and there's business and entrepreneurship and to be honest, a human body, a human being is not designed for that. So going back to basics,
yeah.
creating your own meal, spending that time with your loved ones, it's absolutely necessary because no wonder why there's so much stress and depression and anxiety. Everyone is suffering from it, like to some extent. So
Yes, yes.
I totally
Yeah,
agree
no,
with that point. Very, very well, good points that came up today and amazing
yeah,
points that everyone said. Danielle says self-care is very important. Figure out what means what is that means to you, your nutrition,
hmm,
exercise, mental health, whatever it is to improve your overall health. Because at the end of at the end, this is what matters. Why are we living in the first place? To make money? We're not going to take that in our graves.
amen.
Yeah,
Ain't that the truth?
live
Ain't that the
fully
truth?
while you're living.
Ain't that the truth? Thank you, Umar, for those commentaries. Extracting those insights that uh, our friend Rosemary gets shared with us. And the older I'm getting, I mean, I hit that 50, year benchmark, half a century, right? And the more I'm realizing that the more things we own, material wise, the more things they us, right? So, for example, if I've got one vehicle, Danielle's got one vehicle. There was a point in my life where I had multiple vehicles, motorcycles, and I thought that was like cool. And I got stressed up, stressed out over it because each car had to have insurance. Each car had. It came one point where I couldn't afford an insurance on one of the cars. And in New Jersey, the state police came in, and if you didn't have a certain thing on the car, it it got removed. It got taken. So hell, I couldn't even pay for the insurance. Yet alone, once they took it to toll, if you ever had your car towed, there's money. They ain't just gonna say, "Hey, you're a nice guy, Emilio. We see you're working pretty good in the community. We're gonna give you a discount." Mm-mm. So,
Yeah.
so you know what I mean. So what I've learned is the more these things that we are attached to, uh, the less fulfilled, the less happiness we experience. So I totally feel where you're coming from. I just the small things like this is a small thing for me, for many, but for me, this is a big thing. It fills my cup. Having Austin Haynes yesterday, having the co-authors, Patrick, I'm just going to name a few, Ivy Perez, we had Lionel, and then the day before we had Margarita, and then we had Christian, our massage therapist. And it was so filling that we were able to experience. That's why it's not an event. I don't call it an event or a workshop. We got to experience. And they love our little humble abode here. They're like, oh, wow, I love this view. Think about it. I enjoyed the view, but it gets to a point where it's best enjoyed and experienced when you have friends and family to enjoy it with you, right? And I'll ask you a question. Like, why do you want money? Like, seriously, if you had all the money in the world and all the time to enjoy it, right? So, like, why do you want these bills? It's not really because you want to buy things, because we've all done that and we do it every day. I don't want to answer for you. I'm just telling you what my side of it is. Right? I want the experience of what money can buy. I don't want to buy more things. I want experiences. That's why we call this an experience.
That's so true. And ironically enough, why we want money is so that we can have happiness. So we're actually buying happiness. But like I said, ironically enough, the happiness doesn't come from money. The things that actually bring happiness are for free. Like your family,
Mm-hmm.
time with your family, it's free. You don't have to spend money to spend time with your family on a dining table or to cook a meal together. You do
Mm.
not need money to get a smile from another person or give a smile.
Amen.
You don't need money, Emilio, to walk on that boardwalk and just enjoy the nature and
That's
the
right.
sunrise.
That's
That
right.
brings joy, right? And
Yeah,
literally all the things that actually bring joy and happiness are for free.
that's for
And
free. That's right.
we keep on forgetting because it's more of
Yes.
a hypnosis and mind
Amen.
programming, right? Because
Yes.
we see it on social media and television, and we
Amen.
see actors and actresses, and we see their lifestyle, and we think that they're happy. Well, most
Wow.
of them are, but the things that are making them happy is not their money, to be honest.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. And if you don't mind, I like to just piggyback off exactly what you said, because that's how we know not only do we share the same birthday, but you said apparently we're twins. That was great. But now you just gave an insight that I totally believe. And it goes like this. And this is what I really buy into this, that in life, the things that we actually pay a lot of money to are actually cheap in comparison to the things that we are given at birth for free. For example, our health. Right? Once that's gone, I don't care how much money you pay, most likely you're not going to reclaim that. A friendship right now that we have, right? So invaluable, this friendship. If I said something behind your back, if I started talking BS behind your back, oh, this about Omara and whatever, or somebody told me crap about you, and I started to buy into it, and we distance ourselves, friendship, once it's severed, it's very, very difficult to kind of amend friendship, right? So these things, which actually were given to us for free, as you said, are actually the most valuable, the most rewarding, and make us the happiest. But those things, a car that we want, we work our lives to get, if it burns down, it's stolen, we replace it. Okay? A house, we work 50, 30 years for a mortgage, burns down, foreclosed. What happens? Get another house. But these things that are actually given to us, as Umara said, for free, once they're gone, they're gone.
That's so true. I had a car, Emilio. I was driving a wonderful car that I couldn't even think, I would get it because I started my life from a scratch from $0 here in Canada. And I could never think I would have a roof over my head or a car that I would like to drive. But then I got into an accident and I lost my legs and I was limping and I couldn't walk without crutches. And in that moment, if someone asked me, would you prefer your car or would you get rid of the crutches? Definitely it was crutches. And for me to push myself forward, do you know what I did? I sold the car and I tried walking on the crutches because I knew as long as I have the car, I would never push myself to walk.
Wow.
That actually got my health and my legs back. Me going in that kind of adversity. Sometimes, like for me, I have to design adversity for myself to push myself out of my comfort zone.
Could you repeat that again? That last part. So you adversity. Sometimes you have to
Yeah,
place yourself.
yeah. Sometimes I have to create adversity for myself, like what I did with my car. I gave away my car so that I could walk because I knew that if I had a car, although my grocery store is like right a few steps away, walking steps away, I would still go in my car. I just knew it.
Wow.
And then, you know what you're doing to yourself. You subconsciously, you know it. It's just like owning and being honest to yourself.
Wow.
I gave away my car, started walking on the crutches, and I made this goal. Okay, I'm gonna start walking to the grocery store, which is right next door. Then my next goal was, okay, I'm gonna walk to my physiotherapist, which was a little bit far, like a block away, and then push
Right.
myself more and more, just like runners do. I remember when I got back into running, I used to create these small goals. Okay, I'm gonna run until that pole, and then that pole, and then keep a vision. Okay, I'm gonna cross that. But sometimes you have to push
Yeah.
yourself. No one can do it for yourself. And being
Yeah.
grateful for what you have. And like I said, material things can be bought again, can be sold, can come, can go. But health, once lost, can it's difficult to get it back. So
Wow. Wow. Thank
prioritize,
you.
prioritize what's important in life, relationships, health. Yeah.
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 Yeah. That. Thank you. I mean, yeah, we're wrapping this up. You really, that last part really hit home. You're like, wow, talk about, is the cup half full, is it half empty? Because, you said you literally, yourself. We all, if you're watching, those watching this, yourself, we're creatures of habit. And so Umara knew that when she had that accident, that her vehicle, which she loved, right? Obviously, the vehicle you love, you worked hard for it, and it's a material thing. You knew that that would keep you bonded in some way towards a sedentary lifestyle, if you will. And you knew that once you got rid of that, whether you sold it, you gave it away, it really puts you in that position, in a comfortable position. And that's what I've learned. Um, if you want to achieve any level of success, you have to experience that uncomfortableness. In fact, I have upstairs, you have to embrace the suck if you want success, right? If you've been in the world of seminars and workshops, you've heard that before. And so thank you so much for sharing that and bringing this whole message home, especially during trying times like this. Nothing suck, but just know you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. And any last comments before we close the hour? We got about 3 minutes left. Any comments?
Just gratitude towards health that we're living, for every breath, for the five senses we've been gifted, touch, smell, hearing, the five senses, because if they were not there, we wouldn't have been experiencing this life
Amen.
as a human being, which is such a blessing. Imagine, and the power of imagination and the power of creation we have been giving. So gratitude to that. As
Amen.
human beings, we're God's highest creations. So really, really grateful for that.
Thank you so much. Is there? I see some comments. Is there any comments on your end coming? So we're going to finish our broadcast.
I
With
really want to
comments.
thank Mandy and Lionel and Lisa, everyone who joined in today this morning. Last comment I will talk about, from Mandy, and she's saying, I was in a wheelchair for 2 years, had to relearn to walk. Adversity forced us in directions, except get back up and move forward, or accept and give up and emotionally drown. So well said, Mandy. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Thank you, Mandy. And see, I'm so blessed that this broadcast continues to, again, I have to keep saying it, fills our cup. And I thank you there from Canada. So we kept Canada right now. And I'm down here in rainy South Jersey. And just all the love, and we're all connected. We're all going through something. So I'm blessed. Tomorrow, we're going to have another Canadian part of our show. And they all know each other. Wow, this is awesome. So it's Rosemary Sanchez. Rosemary Sanchez, and she's a co-author. Have you ever got to meet her? Did you meet her? She's from Canada.
No, but I've heard her podcast and her radio channel when she spoke, and I'm really impressed. I'm looking forward to meet her.
Great. She's a very, very influential, influential Latina. She really helped us with our book, connected us with all these people. She's bigger than life personalities, amazing. We're just good friends. Whenever we help each other, but yeah, you're going to get to to connect with her for the first time, and she's right in your backyard. So that's what I love about what we're doing and what we're creating with our spiritual community. Because as we continue to expand our mission, right, we're continue to connect with others from really all around the world. So having said that, go ahead and leave us with some parting words.
Thank you so much, Emilio, for creating these live videos and bringing all your friends to the global community and sharing your friends. Actually, it's a blessing what
Thank
you're
you.
doing because you're connecting hearts, you're connecting souls, and you're helping everyone to grow and connecting minds, of course.
Yes,
So
yes,
thank you for
yes.
the work and the service that you're doing.
Wow. Thank you for bringing your presence to us. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.